guys, hope you're all well. Today's video, guys, is for the best settings for Diablo 2 Resurrected for frames per second, even on an older PC. Okay, guys, so let's go through it. So you want to basically, this whole guide is about just getting your frames per second as high as possible. The higher your frames are, the more smooth your PC is going to run, and you better farm just so much more efficiently on Diablo 2 Resurrection, especially, guys, the dreaded slow loading screen. So this gets rid of a lot of that loading screen as well. Right, guys, before we do anything, one of the key things you need to do is do not have Diablo 2 Resurrected on an old hard drive, okay? You don't want it on an old hard drive, man. You want to be having it on an SD drive, or hopefully an M2 drive, which is the latest sort of versions of the hard drives, okay? Because they have basically faster access times, okay? So try to get it on a fast drive. If you've got an old IDE drive, the one that spins, don't put it on there. Get yourself an SD drive. You've probably got one now because the IDE drives are kind of out of date now. They'll really use them. So yeah, SD drive or hopefully an M2 hard drive. And then you get really quick loading screens. That's the first step. Okay, guys, so let's go over to the desktop now. I've got an NVIDIA card. It should be quite similar AMD cards as well. So go to your settings and all that. Right, click your desktop and click on NVIDIA control panel. Okay, so first thing we've got to do is do a baseline PC setup. Right, guys, so when you first time install Windows and stuff like that, it can muck up your settings and set your monitor refresh rate to really low, even though if you've got a really fancy monitor, it's probably set it wrong. So what you're going to do, right click onto NVIDIA settings, then come down here to display, then change resolution. Left click this. Okay, now this is your primary display, this is the one you play your games on, okay? So normally by Windows default, sometimes it will have you on the very top section here. Ultra HD, HD and SD. It normally clicks this, and you see it's gutted my FPS right now. If I select this, and sometimes it is on by default when you first install Windows or Windows that kicks in, you lose so much frames per second on your PC, and it will slow it down massively. Okay, so come to here and just scroll down until you see the PC section. PC, and then there's this is my monitor native resolution, 2560 by 1440p native. Now we click on this, now we can see there is loads and loads of options now for higher hertz. Now I've got a 240 hertz monitor, so I can select 240 hertz. Okay, but even if you've got an older 60 hertz monitor, guys, don't worry, we can still make it run a lot faster. But you do want to get a higher hertz monitor though. Okay, so sometimes, guys, by Windows default, say you bought a brand new gaming monitor, and you're like, oh, it's not really that fast. It's probably because it's set to 60 hertz because of Windows. Okay, so just come here, click on this tab, and put it on the highest one possible. Okay, easy. Then press apply. Done. Okay, now we go up here to 3D settings, manage 3D settings. Left click this. Now, guys, this one is a big one. Okay, feel free to copy all my settings here. I'll do a quick slow pan. Those are my settings. Feel free to copy mine exactly if you want to. It's completely up to you. But the main setting, guys, that is on by default because of GeForce Experience, this program here, where you can download your drivers and add filters, blah, blah, blah. This thing can be responsible to turning on DSR factors, dynamic scale resolution, okay? If this is on, your PC is being gutted in performance, okay? Now, normally by default, guys, this thing here, normally it's on like 2x, 4x, stuff like that. If these are ticked, you're losing so much performance, not just for Diablo 2 Resurrected, but for your whole PC. Okay, this is like a global thing now. Okay, so just all you got to do is just untick these, press OK, and just make sure it's off. Every time you update your driver, come back here and make sure DSR factors is off, because it will turn it on sometimes automatically. I was live streaming yesterday. There's a guy in the chat, and he didn't have none of this set up, and he went from 60 frames to 170 frames. Bearded Gamer, I think his name was. And he's like, oh my god, Tony, it's like a new PC. So yeah, guys, make sure this is unticked, okay? Because if these are ticked, you're losing so much performance on your PC. Like, so much performance on your PC. Also, guys, if your graphics cards can handle it as well, if you got it, put on low latency mode, okay? Low latency mode, just turn this on. This thing's really good, actually. It just makes your mouse more responsive in the game. Gives you less mouse drag, mostly. Lovely. Okay, and if you want a little bit more FPS, even more, you don't care about the electric bill, power management mode. Okay, left click on this, and you can put it onto maximum performance. You'll probably gain like a very small amount of FPS. It wouldn't be that much. I'm being a bit more conservative these days with electricity because the energy crisis, so I just put it onto normal. Okay, and then, guys, make sure, especially if you've got an older computer, that virtual sync is off. Okay, so if you've got 60 Hertz monitor especially, make sure this option is off. Okay, that's it. That's all you got to do now. I shut down this window, apply it, blah, blah, blah. And now we're going to go boot up Diablo 2 Resurrected. I've just got to change my capture to D2R. There we go. And let's boot up this beautiful game. Right, guys, let's go do the core settings now of Diablo 2 Resurrected. Really easy. These settings, guys, will work on an older PC as well, because I've got these PC settings in mind for an older PC. Okay, so it just runs a little bit better. Lovely. Thank you to the prayer. Right, guys. So now what we do, once we go into game, press return, do /FPS, and then in your top corner up there, you can see you got your FPS and your ping. Now, right now, I've got 260 FPS, which is absolutely crazy because I've got a good PC. You know, I've got an i9 with a nice 308 Ti in there. Okay, so I'm getting a lot of FPS. But if you've got an RTX card, if you're one lucky guys, you want those RTX cards, man, or your card supports NVIDIA DLSS, you can make this go even higher if you click on Ultra Performance. Comes at the cost of graphics quality. Press apply. Now you can see now it looks quite blurry now, but look at the FPS. 300 FPS now, which is absolutely crazy. Okay, so once you've done these settings, the dreaded loading screen is virtually gone. Look, bang, absolutely crazy. Look, boom, 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 super quick. Look, bang, like a second. Okay, obviously results will vary from how good your PC is, or how good your hard drive is, your hardware and all that. But we'll go with the other options now. But yeah, if you don't care about graphics quality, just stick on NVIDIA. This guys have got an ultra performance. But for me, I'd like my game looking nice, so I always turn that off because I've got a good 260 anyway. Alright guys, so all these other settings, let's quickly go through them then. So display mode, guys, you always use full screen. Full screen will give you your best FPS. Make sure you use your native monitor resolution. So me, it's 2560 at 1440. Lovely. NVIDIA's ETS, guys, like I said, want more FPS, put it on ultra performance if your card can handle it. If you don't, just leave it off. Resolution, so I've never touched this, leave this at 100%. Don't fiddle this, just leave it at 100%, which is basically your native resolution, okay? Sharpening, how sharp you want the game. So if you just drag it up and down, brightness, screen space, perfect preference. Right, guys, so if you've got an older monitor that's only 60 Hz, so 60 FPS, this is a very important thing to uncheck. Do not have virtual sync unchecked, because basically, if you have this checked now, you'd be locked to your monitor's refresh rate. Okay, so that's why we turned it off earlier in the video as well. So untick this, and now your computer can go above 60 Hz or 60 frames per second. Sorry, if your your CPU has the power, and B, your graphics card has more muscle. Okay, so it depends on those two factors as well. But try it; you should gain more than you've got in today's most PCs. Next, guys, is frame rate cap. Okay, so you'd be tempted, oh, I've got 60 FPS monitor, I need to change to 60. Don't do this. Drag it all the way to the right, and once it's on 0, it basically means the computer's going to try to get as much FPS in the game as possible. Lovely, so make sure you've got those done as well. Brilliant. Then, guys, go down to the graphic settings. Okay, so these settings here is what I personally prefer, because I like to just have the game like loading super quick, man. So I'm really efficient with the farming. So graphic preset, guys. Texture quality, medium. Anisotropic filtering, ×1. Occlusion, just medium. Character detail, put character details high because you want to see those characters looking nice, you know what I mean? You don't want to see them all blurry and bleh, you know? You want to see that glorious champion yours guys looking sweet on D2R, man. Environment detail, guys, I just want to pop this onto medium. These settings are really good, guys, for a low-end PC as well. Transparency quality, just leave that on high. Shadow quality, medium. Didn't really notice that much difference with shadow quality. Anti-aliasing, guys. Now, I like to have this off. If you have this on, yeah, it can smooth out your textures. Okay, so let me zoom in my necromancer here. You can see my character looks quite smooth now. There's no jagged lines and all that. Personally, I don't like that. I like to have my game as sharp as possible, especially when I'm streaming it on Twitch at twitch.tv/BigDaddyDen76, guys. So I like to turn mine off because I just like my game to look in ultra sharp, man, for the stream especially. You can see how razor sharp it is now. It looks great. Brilliant. Okay, guys, dynamic scale resolution scaling, BSR, make sure this is off. This is one of the things from the graphics card earlier, but we turned off earlier. Make sure this is untagged, okay? And then, guys, VFX quality, medium. VFX lighting quality, medium. No Shake the Overseer when he drops those fireballs after you kill him. Have you noticed sometimes your game will just crash? Because there's loads of lighting effects and lighting quality going on there. For me, I had to turn this down to medium to stop that crash. And now it works. And now it works absolutely fine. And there you go, guys. There you go. And that's it. That is it. Check it out. So, guys, before you do all these changes, boot up your game normally. Tell me what FPS you guys were getting before these changes in the comments below. And then apply these changes and tell me how much difference you're getting in your frames per second. Hope you guys find this guide useful. Feel free to subscribe more. And I'll see you in the next video. Happy slaying. Thanks for watching, guys.